Hey guys, happy Tuesday evening. And my camera's gonna go all wonky weird because it doesn't know what to do with the lighting in the evenings. This is why I hate making videos in the evening, because you're gonna see it go really weird, but I'm gonna try to get it to stop. Hello, Monroe. So I hope you guys are having a great week so far. We're only a couple days away from the 4th of July, so most of us will have that day off if we work regular business days. I, of course, will also have it off. But I wanted to come on since I did not have a chance to make a video on Sunday, and I actually made a video yesterday, but I decided not to upload it because I just wasn't feeling it. So here we are today, and wanted to chit chat with you guys. I've got like a ton of different topics I want to talk with you guys about, and yet something's been holding me back. I think that fear of offending people because I have opinions on things, and I'm trying to stay positive. Not that anything is in a negative way, but I always worry when I do these little chat videos who might be offended, because people feel like anytime you talk about something, someone out there gets offended, they feel targeted, and I will just lay it out right now. There's not one single person targeted in this video on this topic. So, the dirty little word in the doll hobby, and that would be kits. So I've been pondering this for quite some time, and it's like the word is taboo to some collectors, and I haven't figured out quite yet why. And so I figured, why not chat about it? So silicone kits versus silicone editions. We all know that they're different. Silicone kits are unfinished and sold to varying artists and collectors to have finished by another artist out there. So you're getting a blank kit to start from, and then you pay another artist in which to paint, root, all of that to finish the kit, versus a completed edition doll, which would be the artist who sculpted also pours, then paints and roots and completes the doll. So to me, I have had both. To me, they are just different. One is not better than the other. They're just different because of the fact that one is finished by the artist, the other is not. Now, the prototypes within the kit editions, I think, are actually very valuable baby dolls because there are only limited numbers of them. We'll use Claire Taylor as an example because I know how hers work best. She usually does 2 or 3 prototypes when she releases a kit edition, and I find after purchasing a couple of prototypes of her kit editions, they maintain their value very, very well because they're very rare, because majority of the dolls, majority of the kits, almost all of the kits are finished by other artists, not the artist who sculpted the doll. So it's really quite rare to actually have a prototype of a kit edition. So I think that they're actually very rare, probably more rare than an edition doll because there are less of them in my eyes. Now with Claire, I know that she does use different silicone from edition dolls, fully completed edition dolls versus kit editions that she creates. She uses a different blend of silicone. I think one, just to keep things, I don't know, unique, but she's always changing her silicone mixtures within even editions. From edition to edition, they're all different. So I don't look at it in the sense that one is better than the other. They are just different. They have different properties. They feel different. I actually have enjoyed both kits and I've enjoyed my edition babies from Claire. I think that they're all beautiful. But to some collectors out there, I think they view the term of when other collectors speak about kits, they're thinking of it in a negative way, and I'm not sure why. I've actually had a couple of, one in particular, one collector who took huge offense to me even relating her doll to being a kit. And it was never done on purpose. It was never any ill intent. It was simply just stating the fact that the doll was from a kit. And I think that there are certain collectors out there that have this stigma attached that kits are not as good as the edition dolls. And I just don't think that that's the case. I don't know. It's interesting because I've pondered this for a really long time and haven't quite figured out why people see it as a derogatory term. It's like this negative thing when you talk about kits versus edition dolls, and it's just people get upset. And I'll never understand it because to me, I've had both. I've enjoyed both. And if I love a doll enough, it doesn't really matter to me whether it was from a kit edition or whether it was from a fully finished edition by the artist. It's just I buy what I love. And I'm thinking majority of collectors also just buy what they love, not really caring what it is. But I don't know. You guys tell me. I'd love to hear your feedback if you think of it differently. And there are some collectors out there that don't know the difference between a kit versus a finished edition. I've actually had people ask me, what is the difference? Why is one different than the other? Explaining what they are, because some people actually don't know what the differences are because they haven't been in the doll community and collecting long enough to really understand the differences. But I think the biggest part is, for me, acknowledging whether it's a kit or not is basically when you're going to buy or sell. I think on the secondary market, I think it gets a little muddied when people have kits that have been poured by Claire Taylor, and then they list the doll by Claire Taylor, which isn't necessarily the case. So that's where I find that I like to clarify and make sure people know what they're getting, and I want to know what I'm getting for my money. If it's a prototype finished by the artist and it came from a kit edition, then that's a Claire Taylor doll. Kits that were finished by other artists and, rooted by other artists, they're going to have a whole different value to me if I'm going to look to buy one of those dolls. That's why I say those prototypes are actually quite rare and very, very hard to get. So they're going to be more expensive, worth the value, worth the money, way more than a kit doll that wasn't finished by the artist. So I think that's where it's important for people to understand the difference. And when I see doll sales left and right all over the internet, where I see they're definitely dolls not finished by Claire, and people are listing them for sale saying Claire Taylor, whatever, charity. There's one of that's a previous kit edition that I see for sale. And people that are selling them do not even put the information out there that it was painted by another person, by another artist other than Claire. So people are assuming they're getting Claire's work when in fact they're not. They're only getting the sculpted actual kit with someone else's painting. So I think that's what muddies the waters for me, which is why I think it's really important to point out what's what. It's more about the sales after when you go to resell your doll. You need to be honest about who painted the doll. If it's a kit and it was painted by somebody other than Claire, you should definitely say so. And same for, any other artists that may put kits out. I mean, I don't know that many that actually sell dolls as kits as well as finished editions like Claire does. So I think this is mainly, I guess I'm mainly talking about Claire's dolls. And right now, Claire is like a hot commodity. Her dolls, you can't find them for sale. People want them so badly that they are snatched up so fast when someone posts them for sale. And good for Claire, that's wonderful. But it's really important for collectors to know what they're buying. So hence this conversation. So if you don't understand the difference between a kit and an edition, you got to do your research. You got to start asking questions, because I've heard of people buying these dolls being completely disappointed because it's not all the same. A Claire Taylor doll that's finished by Claire is very sought after and very hard to get, versus a doll that's a kit that was made by Claire Taylor, sculpted by her, but then painted by another artist, doesn't hold the same value as a fully finished doll, whether it be a kit or an edition doll, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So when you're buying and you're looking and you're in the market to buy a Claire Taylor silicone, make sure you know the difference. I have a lot of people that reach out and ask me questions because they're not sure what they're looking at. They don't even know if it's a Claire Taylor doll sometimes. So I think it's always, it comes back to always do your research. Always, always ask questions. Ask your doll friends. And if they don't know, ask on a forum. Ask in like the Claire Taylor group if you're unsure. There are definite avenues, but you should definitely know what you're buying. So to me, guys, the takeaway from this is that honestly, I don't see kits as being a bad word. It's not a dirty word. It's not taboo in my world. I think for some collectors, maybe it is. It shouldn't be. I think it's just distinguishing what things are in the doll world and clarifying what they are so that collectors understand. So yeah, I don't want anybody to take it like negatively when someone says, oh, it's from a kit edition and this is the name of the edition, but this is a, you know, if you've got a fully finished baby, then that is a rare find. And I just remember when I had, because I had the charity prototype, I believe she was number 1 because she did a boy and a girl, and I believe mine was the girl, and she was number 1, I believe. And she was quite sought after because there was only 2 of them and so many kits out there. She was very popular. Some people loved her, some people hated her. I rather enjoyed her when I had her in my nursery. I had her for quite some time. But I always cherished that doll. I thought that she was the most amazing finished baby from that edition, from that kit edition. She was beautiful, and I've had previous ones as well where I've thoroughly enjoyed them. So I guess it's all how you look at it, but it is important in the sales world of buying and selling dolls to know what you're buying, know the difference between a kit versus a finished edition doll, whether it's a prototype, whether it's an artist proof. I mean, these are all different terms that we use, but you want to know what you're buying because it does place different values on the doll. And if I'd be lying if I said, oh, they're all the same, you know, it wouldn't matter. It does matter. It does matter if you want to get your money's worth and know that you're not spending too much for a doll, especially on the secondary market. So anyways, that's my 2 cents on it. I think that's why it's important to talk about. I don't think that people should shy away from using the word when you're describing your doll, or especially if you're selling your doll. You want to make sure you disclose all that information so that the buyer knows what they're getting. And if you're selling, be a good seller and make sure you disclose that information so that that buyer knows. It's just, you know, being transparent in the doll world is super important, more than ever now, because of all the scamming going on, because there are so many people out there just willing to take advantage of us collectors that follow our hearts because we love these babies, that you have to do your due diligence and make sure you ask lots of questions if you're unsure. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. I think that is very important and there's nothing wrong with it. And I think that you will benefit as a buyer if you ask those important questions. You'll be less likely to be disappointed when the doll arrives, if that makes sense. So that's my thought. Those are my thoughts on talking about and using the word kit in the silicone world. And yeah, those are my thoughts on that. I hope it all makes sense. I hope I'm not rambling. I try not to. I try to make a point of being clear and also never to offend anybody. So these are just my thoughts. Helpful information because I've had several people reach out and ask me these questions. So I figured it's easier just to make a video and talk about it. So there you go, guys. That's our little chat for this evening. There's little baby Monroe. She's just hanging out in her Dakota. She's chilling. She's a happy girl. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. For those of you that are off for 4th of July, yay! I'm looking forward to a day off, and then I'm off the following week, so I'm really excited just to have some time to myself. We're doing a lot of work at our house, so we'll be able to get lots done, so I'm really looking forward to that. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your night. Feel free to comment below your thoughts. I'd love to hear. And Monroe and I will see you all soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.